Welcome to Just Saying, episode 14. We are 14 episodes in, and I guess we have to shout out Yoshi, who managed to be first. He's been kind of slacking in the chat.
Man has been lacking.
He has been, but he's back on his game, and that's why he's now on an RLCS roster as well. He's back. Yoshi's back. He's going to be on the grind. And Mega Boom, hello. Oh, Werty's in chat. That's pretty cool. And Flex is here. And that's all that's been in the chat so far. And I'm sure they'll come. They will come in their numbers and droves shortly. And we got to give a shout out. Our guest panelist for the night is Werty.
Yo.
I'm so glad somebody said his name, because you know when you meet somebody and you forget their name and you're too awkward to actually ask them, and now it's been too long that it's awkward. So I was waiting for you to say it. So thank you. You did
and he looked so familiar, right?
Yeah, no, he has a familiar face.
I definitely
so long as it wasn't Werty, it's okay.
Yo, Werty.
One condition.
Oh my! Now I feel like I got to call you that in a cast at least once.
Werty.
Werty.
Oh
Werty's coming down the pitch.
Don't even start. I would leave instantly.
You just told people who are in charge of saying his name.
Not my best moment, I will be honest.
All right. Well, we might as well kick off right away. And since we have Werty here, Werty, would you like to confirm, deny, or otherwise the roster situation for RLC? I kind of feel like it's an open secret, but I don't know if there's been a formal announcement. What's the story there?
I think we wait until after 3v3 off season, and then we can say a genuine answer.
Okay, is that because it's not 100% confirmed, or that's just the timing that's been decided on, or are there things up in the air?
I think both. I think it's a bit of just wait for after that, and then wait for confirmation. So
fair enough. Okay, I will put you on spot no more. And and I should say out the gate that I had an excellent meeting with VS today about next season, and there's going to be a lot of information about what the VS season is going to look like for next year. But basically, Bromeo, from January to the end of September, in fact, January until the end of November, so excluding any off-season stuff Psyonix may or may not do next year, there is Rocket League from January to the end of November with between RLCS, VS, RSC, and ACGL. There is not going to be a quiet month in Rocket League next year.
I remember sitting down with you a couple years ago and saying, do you know how cool it would be if we had Rocket League the entire year round? We had a global calendar. Do you know how sweet it would be? And here we are. And we've got a couple of months to fill, but it's mainly kids who cry because they've got exams and they don't want to play Rocket League that we haven't filled the rest up. But how awesome is that? And I love to see it. And we're slowly moving into a way that all of the major competitions are represented, and most importantly, are working together in a scene that needs them to. And for me, that's vital.
Werty, the conversations I've been having with Bromeo and a couple of other guys behind the scenes in terms of where Rocket League should go, given the situation, and we will talk more about imports and whatever, the favorite ongoing conversation. But it became clear that good local Rocket League is really important, and schools Rocket League is really. We need to have a lot more players coming in, and we do that by having good local tournaments, excellent schools Rocket League, and I'm hoping over the course of this podcast to sort of build a complete picture of all the elements that make for improving this region. And so, from your point of view, any conversation or anything you want to add to that along the way, you must feel free to do so.
Okay, cool. I feel like a starting note, now that we have some information about next year for local tourneys, I think once RLCS kind of stepped in, you have a lot more tourneys a lot more often, and sure, it's a really high competitive level. But back in the day, when it was just 1 or 2 local tourneys, right? You were
Yes.
playing the entire year for one LAN that you don't even know where it is when it's happening for like 20 grand. That's it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It kind of made it feel a bit more. What's the word? It wasn't competitive, but it was more intense, right? Because you're playing
Yes.
this entire year for one little event.
Yes.
Now you do it in the sense of I need to qualify for Worlds or a major or something. Okay, cool, but there's still multiple opportunities for that to happen. So yeah, it's nice for people who are getting into it to start somewhere that you understand, and it's nothing too competitive. It's nothing too serious. You'll play against good players, but it's nice when it's local. There's also like a really nice feeling with that.
A, local, but B, where, because RLCS is a hell of a cauldron to be thrown into. You know, I have people who reach out to me and they say, oh, you know, they're getting into Rocket League. You know, what competitions are there? And then you ask the question, how long have you been playing? What's your rank? What's your whatever? And it's like, oh no, I'm C2. And you go, this poor oak is going to get thrown into RLCS. You know, it's such, and we're missing that. In my mind, it's kind of, we're an all and nothing region, or we have been an all and nothing region. It's either top of the game or nothing at all. So we've got to flesh out and build out that middle section. So we have the community stuff, and then and VS and ACGL and other competitions, which top teams may or may not participate in. But it's there where guys can feel like they are. It's more of an introduction into competitive Rocket League.
Yeah, I get that. Also, one more question. Do you have any info on I remember something about a uni league was being teased or talked about. Okay, I'm not going to go into that, but I feel like the reason why that's also important is because people have time in high school to play games. You leave high school, you make a decision. Either I'm going to study, I'm going to work, I'm going to play Rocket League. Very rarely do people do both. I think there's only a couple of people, like I think myself, Friction, I'm not sure about Cam, but like there's a handful of people who are still studying while playing.
Yes.
And that's a really hard thing to do. But if you have more of these uni leagues where, okay, you can go study and it kind of promotes you to still try and play, even if it's just for a while. You have a competition to play in, then you say, okay, well, I mean, I'm playing, I might as well try RLCS, I might as well do something. It's a really nice way to just kind of branch off into multiple things without making that decision of, I'm done. Or, yeah.
I think it's a case of one at a time, I think, because that is there's high school Rocket League, which has been growing over the last few years, and every year more schools sign up for high school Rocket League, which is fabulous. And because that's a going concern, is I want to start making superstars out of the players there, and stream games and get games streamed and make high school Rocket League a thing. In conjunction with that, as we're going along with that, both ends of high school, on either side of high school, need to be worked on. Uni Rocket League absolutely needs to become a thing, but also primary school. With the age of RLCS being 13, we got to start going after the grade 5, 6s, and 7s. So, you know, because if you're starting competitive Rocket League at 13 when you go to high school, you're already too late. You got to hurry up. So it's kind of bizarre. But those two elements are on the more long-term planning to, okay, how do we figure it out? But to answer you the question you started this with, and I forgot who it was. Who was it? Was it Metal State who said they were announcing something at Rage? Was it Metal State?
I believe so. I'm not sure, but that is what I heard.
Bromeo, we spoke about it 2 weeks ago, but I can't. It was Metal State, right?
We were completely blindsided by it because, we knew nothing about it. But yes, it was Metal State.
We knew nothing about it, and we still know nothing about it. I don't know if the announcement happened. If it happened, what was the nature of that announcement? We have no idea. But hopefully something comes of this. I do know ACGL have been working in the uni scene. Or at least trying to, or something. So there are a few fits and starts there, but much work that needs to be done. Okay. Moving forward, let's talk about hoops. We've just completed the second of 3 off-season tournaments, SSAying-sponsored off-season tournaments. We had the 1v1s, and then yesterday we had the hoops tournament. And I want to get, I'm just trying to find I think that's where I want to be. Is it? No, it's not. I've got too many windows open, but it's here somewhere. I promise. There's a whole.
Never end.
Yeah, I know. Oh, there it is. Off season. Okay. So this should bring it up. Yay, it worked. This here is the double elimination bracket on day 2. So it went over 2 days. 43 teams signed up. It was a little bit skewed in terms of EU teams. And then making the final 12 were 7 EU teams, 3 SSA teams, and 2 mixed SSA EU teams. So unfortunately, still dominated by EU teams. And the top 12 were Saucy Barbecue, which is EU. Hey is EU. Vendors and Boogie Beasts are SSA. Vendors was Snowy and Sweaty. Boogie Beast was To Die For and Guns. 77 Blocks, we know, out of Germany. John Boy out of England, I think. Vollig Klar. I'm assuming out of Germany, but I haven't confirmed that. Call 6 off was Duklas and Keksi, so that was our mixed team. Goats, that was out of Poland. Come On Shun EU, somewhere out of EU. And then Rise Esports was SSA, and Forever Faster was Eli and Darku, who teamed up together for it. So that was the 12 going into yesterday. And the too long didn't read is that in the lower bracket, it was 77 Blocks and Boogie Beasts. Boogie Beast won there, To Die For and Guns, but then lost in a 5-game thriller to Saucy Barbecue. And then it was Sweaty and Snowy who swept in the grand final over Saucy Barbecue. So Snowy and Sweaty taking the spoils in the hoops. And I don't know, I was going to ask if you guys watched any of it, which is a bit of a joke because I was streaming and struggling, begging for a POV stream here and there. There wasn't much to watch, but Werty, I don't know if you kept tabs on anything with this hoops tournament.
I mean, we played. Ram and we had some unfortunate happenings and some internet issues, but at the end of the day, it was fun. I did try and check the bracket now and then, but again, if there's nothing to watch, there's not much to catch up on apart from who won, you know.
One day you've got to try doing a watch party where you just sit and watch a start.gg page.
I like that idea. Now this is pure content.
Yeah, this is premium content, and one day we will solve our content producing issues. One cool thing I wanted to highlight out of this, Bromia, we spoke about it last week leading up to it. But I don't know if it's a first globally, but certainly in SSA, there was a dad-son duo of Devour and his dad who competed in the hoops, Devour and Vinko. And that was streamed. Devour was streaming that. And all I saw there was Devour desperately trying to fit everything into his backpack.
Man, so we expected that, Gary. How far did they actually make it into the tournament? I'm not guessing too far.
Well, it's a double elimination, so they got to play 2 games.
Honestly, very well played.
Nice, man. That would be such a cool experience, though. That's nice. That's a cool story there.
It's one of my favorite stories. So Devour's dad, Vinko, is an old school gamer. We're about the same age. And, he was, you speak about the days before RLCS, Werty, when there were far fewer things going on, and the community was very small, but you were all grinding for that thing. He's from a time even earlier than that, where, the good old LAN days where everybody dragged their PC into someone's house and you spent a good portion of the night trying to get the network to work, and then you got to do some gaming. And he reached out to me, I think about a year ago, in fact about a year and a half ago, and said he discovered Rocket League. He says, I love Rocket League and I got my kid playing with me and we have a great time. But he's now reached the point where he's irritated playing with me because I'm just too shit for him, and I don't know what to do with this kid. Where can I send him? Or what do I do? And that's kind of how he got into the competitive scene.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good time. I mean, I would like to say I'm only old in terms of what I know, because I'm actually not that old, I'd like to think. But like whenever I started playing back in the day, it was like Contra, all of the really old Metal Slug games, the original Marios. So it's nice knowing that, and also
Yes.
knowing the things that people had to do to just play StarCraft against each other back in the
Yes.
day. So it's always a good time. But yeah, now at least we have Devour, and let's see. Hopefully he cooks something in RLCS. It'll be nice.
Well, he and Ravi are teaming up. Those are our two young prodigy and prospects. Both of them are now 14 years old. Ravi might be 15. He might have just turned 15, but youngsters. And yeah, hopefully they begin to shine but we'll talk a bit more about that. So that was the hoops tournament, and the prizing. If I go, I think it's here under teams. It was a fairly decent prizing, being split between. Oh God, you know what? Start GG drives me crazy. I can never find the prizing. I think it was $2,800 was the first prize. So someone, yeah. Oh, Liquipedia. Oh, there you go. Now that's a smarter place to go. Liquipedia.
Yeah,
I think
3 for first, 2-4 for second, 1-5 third, 1-5 fourth.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good going for an off season. But it does highlight what we were talking about just a moment ago, the weird disparity of Rocket League in this region. You know, there is so much. If you look at the Call of Duty guys who had to grind so hard to get a 20 grand tournament out of ACGL, and that's pretty much all that goes on. And, you know, here we are, sort of 3 off-season matches with a prize pool of like $15,000. But then there's no step down from that. There's RLCS, one regional, $24,000, an off-season, $15,000, and then VS Gaming, 30,000 Rand or whatever. I mean, it's such a huge, and that's why we've got to build out that middle. I don't know if you caught the news, Bromeo, if you saw the RL Esports put out a tweet yesterday or the day before with sort of updating the format and all of that for RLCS, and then also saying they've increased how much community tournaments can give us prizing. But without saying how much they've increased it by. Not that because it was $15,000, which, you know, that's 250,000 Rand there or thereabouts. And we're no in. It's not like we had a sponsor going, damn, if only you could do $500,000.
Well, you know, if Psyonix ever wants to give us some money, you know who to call in SSA.
We're talking about building out that middle. And so VS, I want to make VS the premier local tournament for next year. And I want to, more than anything, it's a proof of concept. I want to make Rocket League as big or bigger than the CS, than what CS is at VS, because they get all the glory there, and rightly so if you look at the numbers in terms of how many people are watching. However, having said that, I watched the CSGO final at VS. They had a viewership of around 300. In the audience, they had maybe 100, 150 people for the final, maybe 200. I don't want to undersell them. For next year, at the grand finals at Comic-Con, I want the place to be crawling with people. So all year we are going to pump this and promote it and do giveaways and just build up so much hype and have events at Comic-Con. So I want the hallways to be filled with Rocket League fans, like people are struggling to walk by. And then on Twitch, the people watching, I want to get to that 300 number and hopefully even break that. So in terms of viewership and hype, we can go to Telcom at the end of the next VS and go, here are numbers. This is what we need for the 26th season. So I'm putting that out there to everybody. We've all got to make sure this is a gangbuster VS season.
I feel like it's very doable. I think RL has a way higher player base in terms of active players. See, the thing about CS, I enjoy CS. I love CS. It was my break whenever I finished scrims to go play with my brother and a couple of mates. But the issue is that you can play one game of Counter-Strike a week, right, and fill up your full. sometimes you'd want to grind out, oh, something's changed, something's happened. You'd love to just play it for a bit. But I feel like Rocket League has a way higher player base, I think. And I feel like I'm correct because now you can queue from basically bronze
Yeah.
to GC3 and have no issues with queues. So there's people playing. We just need to get them there, and maybe I don't know. I don't see why it would be an issue. I actually think Rocket League is by far the bigger tournament in South Africa. There's no reason for us to have less love than Counter-Strike apart from that. They've marketed it for longer. That's it.
And it's completely perception, and perception is reality. And I do feel like VSR are coming to the party this season, and want to make something of this. But yeah, Counter-Strike has been around for so long that it's just it's just assumed that that's where the lion's share of everything should go. But we can change that. We can change that perception. We can change that reality. I agree with you that the player base is there. Soundex doesn't help us in that when you start Rocket League, I saw today, I haven't played Rocket League for a few days, but I opened it up and there was actually a huge ad for RLCS, which was amazing. But I don't know why they don't have like things like VS or other regional tournaments. You know, when you open up Rocket League, there should be tabs where you can, SSA, and if there's anything live, you could right from the game go and watch the stuff or go and see brackets and see what's happening. My struggle is, how do you reach that player base? There are so many people who play Rocket League in South Africa, in the region, that don't know that there's a whole community, there's a whole thing. They're just playing, they're just being two toxic youngsters, just grinding away and without knowing there's this greater thing. And if anyone has an idea on how to solve that problem, for a long time, I played the game with my website as my in-game name, hoping people would go there and go, oh my goodness, there's a whole... But who the hell goes to websites anymore? No one. That's who. So I don't know how we solve that problem.
I think you're trying to solve something that's busy solving itself. Let me give you a story, for example. Ever since I started casting on the more serious side of things, I think I got paid to cast high school esports, I'd say about 4 or 5 times last year.
Interesting.
That is a 10,000% increase on casts of any nature. But I'm talking about ACGL, Curralans. I'm talking about private schools dropping me a DM and saying, hey, we need to stream this game.
Yeah.
Can you cast it for us?
Wow.
And if that's the love that Rocket League is getting at a school level, whether it's through the efforts of ACGL or VS or whoever, it is now part of the high school curriculum, whether you've directly impacted it or not, which I'm sure you have. But that alone, I mean, as a caster, I was asked to help out in high school esports, which means that it's doing a lot more than we give it credit for. And because we don't have access to that sort of information, because they're not part of this direct community that we interact with on a daily, we assume that it's irrelevant or doesn't exist.
Yes.
But there's a whole world of Rocket League happening out there that's just detached from the one we experience. So the challenge isn't, spreading the gospel of Rocket League, because that's happening pretty well.
Yes.
Challenge is making sure that these kids, these players who are picking up the game, know what to do next once they're hooked.
But I think I have a massive bone to pick when it comes to getting high schools into, well, getting us to basically socialize and become more of a community with all these high school players, the teachers, whoever it may be. Because for a long time, during the off season this year, I guess you could say, there was nothing to do. So apart from grinding out, playing scrims, there was no coaching. There was no, hey, I've got like a couple hours. Do you want to do something? There was no. I've reached out to I don't know how many schools, and a lot of them just said, no, either we have a coach,
Yeah.
that's it, or sorry, we're not interested.
Then
finish. And it just annoyed me because especially when I spoke to Skara recently, I was like, okay, I see what ACGL and all this kind of stuff are doing, super sports schools, you love to see it. But there's no link between all of the work they're doing and all of the work we do. And I'd love for there just to be something, just to get us involved. Because I do it, but yeah.
I have an idea. I have an idea for that, and I think we can solve it. Is between ACGL and VS, who are the two orgs who are directly involved with high schools, they should make it a thing inside their discords, and then through the school liaise, like the people who directly liaise with schools, we get that put through Discord or whatever means they have to talk to the schools. That's where we do it. So it doesn't feel like to the school that, here's this rando guy coming in here, because some teacher who's also being tasked with, okay, look after the esport team, who's Werty, who's Happy Meal, who are these people? But if it's coming through the official channels, I think we will go some distance. And Yeah.
Yeah, no. I just wanted to expand upon that, is that, schools are picking up esports as a curriculum now, right?
Yes.
They're picking up Rocket League and they're like, oh, let's play video games. It's good for, touch and, development of their...
Whatever they think esports is good for, yeah.
Really, yeah. So that's what I've noticed. They're currently in that trialing period. They're trying to be competitive. But PRG are coming along and kicking them in the face competitively.
Yes.
And it's going to happen again next year.
Yes.
And that's when the principal's going to be watching, and they watch the shit kicking happen. And that is when the decision to step up their game happens, is because, Color Cold is the head coach for Grey Bloom for their esports. And since he's taken over, they've become, much, much more competitive and much stronger. And that was in direct line to the shit kicking that PRG was busy doing, because they were tired of going to LANs and losing as hard as they did. So that is what happens. It's a natural progression of things. And slowly, as results start to become important, not simply participation, that's when you'll see the likes of Werty being picked up by some elite school, because, they need to improve their results drastically. So, Werty, I think the problem is that you're just a pioneer, man. You're just here early, man.
The issue is that I've seen the school fees for some of those private schools, man. By all means, please just phone me. I will be available. But because I think out of curiosity, I looked at one of the high schools competing, and I was like, I was like, damn, my school fees when I was in high school was 1/10 of what they pay. I was like, damn, man, I can't get a DM back or an email. That's crazy stuff, man. But yeah, I mean, again, I feel like there's a lot of players who would also just do it. So say, even if you're not like me, even if you're just somebody who plays the game and you still want to grind and you play RLCS, sure thing. Guns. Actually, Guns is in chat. I don't think Guns would necessarily want to be poaching kids. But if there was let's say, we're going to get a bunch of pros in for an hour or something, have a chat with them, let them talk to you, let them hey, well, how do I fix this? How do I do that? By all means. I think that would be something that they'd enjoy, we'd enjoy, and we actually get to help. Because the day I feel like we leave, if there's a massive generational gap in players and the player base, I think there's going to be massive issues. I think if they don't not necessarily catch up, but take up after we leave, then there's going to be a lot of problems for the future.
This is all part of building out that middle section that we sort of alluded to at the beginning here. And we've kind of got a thing going, but it's just keep adding to it, keep adding value to it while we recruit more and more people. I think the signups for High School Rocket League this year was around 140 or so. That number needs to be 500, 600, 1,000, and as those numbers grow, Bromeo, as you kind of pointed out, it becomes a positive feedback loop. as schools get involved, and particularly if they do well, because then they get a bit of promotion within their schools, and the kids in the school who don't particularly like soccer, rugby, cricket, or whatever can get behind the Rocket League team, and they build a fan base, and so it goes. But these are all very good ideas. And then before we move on, I got to say, I'm old enough to, when my school fees, my mom used to give me in an envelope to hand in.
Oh wow!
with a few 2 rand notes in there to go and give to the teacher. So yeah, school fees have changed a lot since my time.
Yeah, quite a bit. But I think one other thing on that topic is when. Oh, what? Okay, now you see that school fees thing just killed everything. About what I was
sorry, and it had nothing to do with anything.
Okay, if it comes back to me, then sure. But
yeah,
I think it was about the development, about getting more things happening in that middle ground, and 147 teams. That's actually pretty impressive. I'll be honest. I don't even know that there was 147 teams competing. Or I guess 147. It wouldn't be schools, right? Because I assume each school has.
Yeah, sorry. I should say teams, because some schools had 2 or 3 teams, or they went that way. And the bulk of the schools they were all out relatively early, and because a lot of them are. Hey, let's have Rocket League. Who wants to play Rocket League? What's Rocket League? Oh, you like it? Oh, okay, I'll play. So, they're not lasting long in the competitive scene. So it is, the bulk of them are not up there.
Okay.
I think, and this just as a final point that I want to raise, is that in this last year, I've been able to see the likes of Sponsor Bubbas, Teach, Mnoto, guys who started shining in the RSC, for example. They were also shining for their school teams. And we got to see this. We got to see them compete at school level, at RSC, and very soon, Teacher has been on the scene for a little while. But if you think of Mnoto, who's just starting out, who's grinding, who says he wants to be just like Werty one day, obviously without the goatee, because But I think that is one of the first clear lines of progression that we've ever been shown in Rocket League. And how many esports titles can you say we saw this guy when he was competing in high school?
Yeah.
And so, yes, we give Rocket League a lot of stick for all the things we're not doing. But other esports are looking at us and saying, look at what they're doing. And sure, we don't market ourselves very well. We don't promote ourselves very well. But we're reaching a point with the player base where it's becoming that ecosystem, and it's an exciting time to be involved in Rocket League.
Despite everything going on, all the craziness and the frustration with Blast, Epic, Psyonix, imports, I truly believe 2025 is going to be the best year that SSA Rocket League has ever had, because of these sorts of things. And we're not trying to start the ball rolling. The ball is moving, so we've got momentum, and now it's just adding to it. And Werty, let's get our pros who want to be involved with schools into the Discords. Let's connect them up directly with the schools through the people who are organizing it, and we'll probably go a lot further than you trying to go it alone. And there are great ideas, and we just start to tag these on, add them on, and just grow the scene. I think we're going to have a real banger of a year next year. Now, let's talk about, for a moment, scrim servers. And for this, I guess I got a message from someone who started, hey, I've set up a scrim server so people can have scrims, work out scrims, with all the EU people that are coming or whatever. And I need to make this much bigger. And then I saw this tweet from Yoshi, which he says, what? Not trying to be a dick. Please stop fucking making dumbass scrim servers, gents. And whenever you start a sentence with "I'm not trying to be a dick," it's like, okay, well, you don't need to be. You don't need to try. You're being effortless.
With all due respect, and then the disrespect.
Yeah, exactly. So, Werty, I want to address this directly to you, and I appreciate the effort, because that, as far as I'm aware, there've probably been at least 5. Hey, scrim server, need scrims? Come to this Discord server. How do we solve the issue of people scrimming, or do we just carry on with everyone trying to DM everyone else?
I think DMing everybody is fine. I don't see the reason to, but okay. Let me break it down. So if I go about looking for a scrim,
Yeah.
I ask my mates. I'm like, all right, who do we want to scrim? Who do you think would be good, etc. We're like, okay, these teams. Cool. I DM them. They either say yes or no. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
If not, we get DMs. They're like, hey, can we do this time? This. And so for us, it's pretty easy. But I can imagine at a slightly lower level where you're still trying to develop, where you're just like, hey, we're just trying to get a scrim, etc. By all means, DM us. We
Yes.
might actually say yes if we have nothing to do on the day. Or, no, genuinely, I don't know why people ego in the sense of, oh my word, we won't scrim you because we're bad. Because we also, I personally have always said we need to scrim at least one team you think is trash.
Yeah.
Because you're going to play that team in RLCS, and if you drop a game to them for no reason, who does that help?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, you've gotten so accustomed. That's actually a problem that I've seen a lot, is that you can dominate really good teams, and suddenly you play somebody who plays so weird, and they don't know what they're doing, and suddenly throws a spanner in your work. So
Yes.
yeah. But for, I think, that middle ground, you just need to contact people and know people. I don't think a Discord for that or server for that would help, but I think so long as you say, oh hey, these guys came out near us in RLCS recently, or they were close to us in one of the tournaments we played, let's just Discord DM them. I don't know if a server would always be the best way of doing that. I think finding each other, yes, but whatever the best way to find each other is, I would agree with.
So one of the skills, does this highlight the fact that one of the skills one needs to have as a player, there's got to be the ability and capacity to communicate, to engage, and be able to have most things happen, in sales. If you go to a sales conference, the thing they're going to tell you over and over again, people always buy things from people they like. So, you've got to build relationships and whatever. And is that a fundamental, because I am convinced, is if you are personable and have a good way about you and how you engage, you're probably going to succeed better in getting help from people who might otherwise not really, where it's an effort for them to help.
Yeah, I agree completely. Sometimes you have to be a human first before absolutely anything else, which a lot of people don't have. But again, I guess that's because of the youth and the age of our player base, right? Like, everyone's young, they're kids, they're going to do stupid things, going to say stupid things. But at the end of the day, I'm very grateful for actually an old man named DF, who, when I first started playing, he said, listen here, like, this is how you need to be, this is how you need to, act, all that kind of stuff. Because it actually helped. It just made sure that everything communication-wise was smooth. This is how you conduct yourself. It's really basic, I'll be honest.
Yes.
To an extent, I almost expect it to be common sense. But a lot of people don't have that, and they make their own lives difficult by not being nice or cordial, at the very least.
I mean, I have Twitter. I agree with you.
And there's much complaining about egoing, and I know that's a thing, but everyone has to realize that they are part of the ego death spiral. I've seen it where a young person comes in, they complain about being egoed, and then they rise up the ranks, and then they're the ego asshole. It's like, okay, well, do you not remember the conversation we had 18 months ago where you were crying in my DMs about how no one wants to talk to you? And so it is yes, be personable, be decent, be engaging, but secondly, are you being part of the broad solution? And it's a tough thing. I get it, because people like me and Bromeo, we're trying to, like, what's good for the region. And I have come to understand that people who are serious about competitive Rocket League care about nothing other than their own progression. I get that. but somewhere along the way, you can be a good oak along the way.
Yeah, I agree. Also, I think that something I had a very easy time accepting was that you have to be realistic.
Yep.
Like, somebody who's really, really good is not going to just practice against you, because if we're being honest, if it's not that exception that, oh, okay, let's just play these guys for the sake of playing them,
Yeah.
you would have, as a player, they would develop more by playing guys that they're losing to or are very close to them. So for me, when I started and I was getting absolutely destroyed by everyone who was better than me, you were like, okay, cool, I'm going to play the guys who are kind of better than me, and we're going to get better. I don't understand how you want to start, oh, I'm going to play the best guys in the region, lose 15-0, and I'm going to learn something from that. You're not going to learn anything from it. You may like one or two things, sure, but not everything. You need to actually remember it's a grind. You got to be consistent. You got to improve slowly every single day until you become a really good threes player, really good twos player, whatever. It's not just, oh yeah, I'm going to play these guys and tomorrow I'm going to be Zen. No, that's not. Yeah, it's just disappointing.
Man's talking about playing against people who are marginally better and substantially better, and he's reminded me again of why we founded Bro and why RSC happened, is because I've said this a couple of times. We walked into VS as plat players, and I'm pretty sure we played against you guys a couple of times back when Zero was still here, and we got absolutely egoed by, these GCs, and we were plat players. We were just there to, experience Rocket League that wasn't, on our server. And I think, most of the teams were gracious about it. They just beat us, didn't score too many goals, so the game went fast enough that it would pass over pretty quickly. But there were some teams who just crushed the will of these poor little plat players to live. And there was an emotion of that. You don't have to be a dick about it. We know you're better. We want to get past this so that we can go playing against people who are similar in elo, so that you can ignore us for the rest of the competition. But the hard part was convincing players that you're going to get the shit kicked out of you initially, but don't worry, on the other side of the hill, that's where all the cool kids are. That's where we play together. That's where you get better. And that was what was missing in the scene for such a long time, is that you had this massive group of really good players, and then you had everybody else. And now slowly you're seeing it being strung out a bit, so that you've got your different layers, you've got different competing points. I see that Six Mans is revisiting how they're ranking their players. I'm not sure about the depth of it, but it sounds a lot like CMV. And from RSC. So that's a good thing, because that's a rank over a sustained period of time. And that just means that we are now being able to identify players at much more varying degrees of ability and able to match people against them for fairness. And like we've been talking about this entire podcast, is that you just want to be able to compete at that level of your own ability, and possibly just a little bit higher, like Werty said, so that you can get better.
I am convinced. So as a wrap up to this side of things, Yoshi does make the point that, get into Six Mans and, you find all the peeps there and you can have convos there and set things up there. And then there's DMs. Be personable, be engaging, improve your ability to communicate and network, and get into the DMs. I do think there is place for a role within a community role of someone who goes, you know what, I'm going to make scrims a thing. And
they do this every season though.
No. But let me tell you what's missing. Is it has to be the person who decides to do it has got to realize they're going to eat a lot of shit along the way, but B, they've also got to be a respected part of the community. They've got to be equally respected by lower end teams and higher end teams, someone who's been around, someone who's kind of proven themselves, and it might take a while, and it's a role that has to be built and grinded on. But I think there is What that looks like, I don't know. I thought about it as we were talking. I think there's a community role there, but it is one of those thankless jobs. No one high fives you at the end of the season and say, "Man, you organized some shit hot scrims along the way," and you kind of got to, like just about everything in Rocket League, it has to be done because you love it and because there's some passion for it. I decided long ago that if I was gonna do this for to get validation from teenagers, I was gonna be a miserable old man, and it's kind of like you got to be willing to help build something for ungrateful young people.
Sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds quite spot on, actually.
But you do it for the sheer love of it, and the fact that it happens, and that you can quietly to yourself say, you know what, I played a part in that. It was an awesome thing. Anyway, I don't know if anyone would ever step up to that role, but I'm convinced that there is a space for it.
I think the closest thing we can get to that is, at the end of the day, it's just networking, but sort of, hey, he's kind of, around. He would know somebody. Hey, do you know anyone who would scrum us?
Yes.
Then the simple conversation of, oh, what rank are you guys? What kind of skill level are you guys? And then that's another, oh, you can DM this guy. Finish. Like, it's just one way of trying to get closer to having that more sustainably. But also, if you don't know anyone, ask someone. They will point you in a direction. I feel like everyone is at least that decent. I would like to think anyway.
One would hope. But if you're out there looking for scrims, good luck. Well, I empathize with the frustration. Off-season rosters. So there is one more off-season tournament. That's the 3v3 off-season tournament coming up this weekend. And I thought it would be a lot more instructive, or it might be a lot more enlightening about what the RLCS rosters are going to look like. And I think it is far less so than I thought it would be, because I think fewer teams have signed up than I thought. And I think that's given the time of year. A lot of people have gone away. They're on holiday. I think there's a substantial number who are still scrambling to figure out a roster for RLCS. But I thought we'd have a gander at that's not the one. I want to go there. I want to have a gander at the rosters that are happening. And I'll start with giving some stats. The number of teams that have signed up for this off-season are 50. And I should say this, we're going to talk about people who have signed up. All the information we've been given, there hasn't been verification by the admins. This is taken straight off start.gg. There might be a few people trying their luck because they signed up in Europe, North America, APAC, and MENA.
All of them.
All of them, like just sign up and see what we can do. And the number always comes down because people fall off, they don't qualify, whatever. So this is unverified, but I just took it straight off start.gg. But there are 59 teams signed up for the tournament this weekend, which does mean I think there will be no Saturday. I think it's just going to be Sunday and Monday that people play. But again, to be confirmed by the admins. I speak with zero authority, just to make that clear once more. So of the 59 that signed up, 23 of those 59 are SSA teams.
Not surprising.
23. So, Bromeo, do your maths quickly. What's that as a percentage of 59? It's less than 50.
Close to 40%.
40%-ish. Okay. Of the 59, okay, my next thing is, come on, next number. There we go. There are 5 mixed teams. SSA EU. Yeah. So SSA EU means there are 2 SSA players and 1 EU player. There are 5 teams that are situate like that. And then there is 1 SSA MENA EU team. That's Lankai, and he's playing with a guy out of Morocco and a guy out of England. So 1 trifecta team. EU, same as SSA, 23 EU teams are in the mix. And then MENA, there are 4 MENA teams. And to be fair, I think 2 of those teams are Saudi Arabia, but the others are Egypt, Algeria, Tunisia, so African countries, which is North Africa. Because I think the reality of MENA is that MENA is another way of saying Saudi Arabia. But so there are.
we forget about the NA part of it.
Yes, exactly. It should just be Saudi Arabia. But anyway, so there's 4 MENA teams, but a bunch of Africans in there, which I'm always a big fan of that. I like the fact that they're there and the fact that they have some opportunity out, because I think they get a bit of a short end of the stick in MENA. And then there's 1 EU MENA roster. 2 EU people and 1 MENA guy. And that's also a North African, I think, either Moroccan or Tunisian. I can't remember offhand. And then 2 MENA EU. And the difference between EU MENA and MENA EU is EU MENA's got 2 EU players. MENA EU is 2 MENA players and 1 EU player.
I was about to say.
Yes, exactly. No. There's method to the madness, Bromeo. And then lastly, the number of countries that are in the mix are, it was there a moment ago, now it's disappeared, please come back, 23 different countries. And if you consider that in sub-Saharan Africa, there are 35, I believe, countries considered to be in sub-Saharan Africa. And of those 23 sub-Saharan African countries, there are 1, 2, 3, 4.
Amazing. Look at that. We're worldwide. People would be so happy with us right now.
Yeah, which is bizarre. I did want to mention, and I wanted to talk about this when we were going into high schools, because I see there's a couple of reunion guys in chat. I know nothing about high school Rocket League in reunion. I'd love for someone to give me the info or to come on the podcast and talk about it. So,
I mean, to be fair, like, how many high schools are there in reunion?
I have no idea.
Imagine if there's just 2. That rivalry would go so hard. That would be amazing to watch, really.
Honestly, they should film that. Make a documentary about it. I would watch that.
Well, Eagle's in chat. Eagle, how many high schools are there in reunion? Enlighten us, please, if you know the number.
It would be so good. Imagine it was like Willu, Eagle, and let's say Onizuma came from one, and then you have Tisha, Willand, and someone else coming from. That would be so much fun to watch. I'd love that.
Oh. All right, so those are the overall stats of the tournament that's coming up. And now I thought we'd have a look at the rosters. So we're not going to spend time on every roster, because that's 59 rosters to go through. And a lot of them I don't know, and I think we won't know. But there we go. SSAEU, Yusuf's triplets, and some of the names are very dodgy, by the way. And I think there are a couple of names that are going to change before the weekend arrives, I have no doubt. But Zyro Redrum out of France, and then Mojito. So no, not France, Netherlands.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. And then Bird, interestingly enough, are going to be are one of the mixed teams. Now I'm getting nervous, Bromeo, because my picker didn't work.
Oh, your picker didn't work.
Yeah.
Why is your picker not working?
I don't know. Let's see if I go to...
It's broken.
The picker is broken.
Yeah.
It's broken, guys.
You broke the picker.
Oh,
there we go. There we go.
Okay, huge.
There we
Nice.
go. Everyone take a breath. So Gold Ninja, Zeph, and Hunter out of Werty. Can you tell me that country? Where is Hunter from?
That's Eastern Europe. That's either it's not Croatia. It's Slovak or Slovene. No.
Oh, you're close enough. I'll give you points for that effort. It's the Czech Republic.
Okay.
Who was on Bird last season? Who's Hunter replacing? I'm trying to think now, because I know
Tishao, Zep.
Oh, Tishao replaced Josh. So Tishao's going to be on another team. I don't know. Oh, he's with Guns in
Guns in Cam. Yeah.
Yeah, Guns in Cam in this tournament. All right, moving right along to Take My Console, which is also a mixed team. Fortnite main, Pterodactylos, And I don't even know the SA. I don't even know the South African players listed there. So I have no idea. I don't know if anybody in chat recognizes any of these names, but good luck to them. And then BTF Esports, Galaxy 6 and Banana Cat. Is it BTF? They are BTF.
I believe it is BTF.
It is BTF. Yeah. Yes. So another mixed team, which is pretty groovy. And then
If y'all don't follow Greybeard, you need to get in there.
thank you very much for the follow, Pecky Tess. I missed it, but thank you for following. And then Relentless, which is, I like this team. I don't know Star very well, and I don't know why there's a question mark there. That's my bad. He's out of England.
I
And
don't
then,
think that's the right flag for Uluwai.
no, that's not Reunion's flag. What flag? That looks like somebody else's flag. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, we all know we lose out of Reunion.
Yes. Our goat, our resident French goat.
Yeah, my bad. Apologies to all the Reunion people out there who are going to like freak out. Oh, by the way, Eagle says there are 94 middle schools in the Department of Reunion Island and 81 high schools. So
Man, I love that exact number. Thank you for your service.
that's amazing. And I don't know if he just Googled it or if he knew it, but Eagle, you're a rock star. Thank you.
What a legend.
So SSA Relentless, Star, Willow, and Zany, which I hope is a very competitive roster. Excited to see what they can do. And Rise Esports is an SSA team. Please tell me that's the right flag for Namibia.
That
Yes,
looks
that
like
would be
the right flag.
It looks kind of legit. So Tweaks and Tweaks, I hope Tweaks for me came out of nowhere this year. He was a guy I used to see in six mans, occasionally ran into him in lobbies. And then the next thing he's out at VS and he's dominating out there and doing incredible things. So I hope 25 is a massive breakout season for him. Tweak, Serenity, and Solo Rage. So holding thumbs for them.
All of these boys were star performers in our RSC this year. Serenity, I think, even got Player of the Season. if I'm
Okay.
correct.
Let's see how your development squad does in this.
Yeah, this is the RSC development squad, boys. Let's do
This
it.
is cool. That's actually really cool, though.
Serenity had a banger of a time in
really
RSC.
did.
And he's another name that's been around for a while that I think, and they did quite well. They lost to Darku and Eli in the hoops. That was Tweaks and Serenity. They played together and did quite well. So great potential there. I'm not sure about Solo. I mean, Solo is good, but I felt like he didn't continue with his grind. I don't know if he's back on the grind. So he's the only question mark for me on that roster, but we'll see how it goes out. And then next up, I love the name of this team. Oh, okay, so we've definitely cocked up the reunion flag because it's coming up for T-Show as well.
I see that.
Not from our league, guys. Let's go.
We get points for effort, right?
Points for effort, but I still think there's going to be some French Department of Reunion Island people out there who are going to be a little upset. So there you go. So I love the name of this team, by the way. the third rules. So 3 SSA players: T-Shao, Cam, and Guns. And you're probably familiar with some of these players, Werty?
Just a little bit, only played against and with them for the last 5 years or something. Not too bad.
Yeah, and just a little tip: keep your eye on Cam. I think that boy's going to do well. I think.
I think so. I think he has the makings to get to Worlds. I'm not sure though.
No. I think he's a solid player in the making. Remember that Greybeard told you.
I'll keep when he's made it one day, 100%. I'll come back to this.
It's like Greybeard, you were not wrong. And then out of reunion, oh my word, this is now the mistake is just being compounded here.
Do you know Flossy wants recognition in chat. So apparently that is the Congo flag. So if you're wrong, Flossy, I hope you get flamed. But for now, it is the Congo team of Pony no Jutsu. So good luck to them. I heard the rainforests are pretty good right now.
Well, to try and
going great.
to try and thread a very tenuous thread. Congo, a former French colony, and they do speak French there. That's all we got. That's all we got.
I mean, we got it.
The comms will go off the charts. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Well, Eagle's like, yeah, I like that flag. All right, Eagle, it's yours. All right, Pony no Jitsu, and I hope they do well. And now Eagle played for Pony no Jitsu last season. So Eagle, I don't know. I'm trying to remember if I've seen your name on this list. I don't remember seeing it, but I hope we see big things from you as well in RLCS, Eagle. Raf and I were teammates for a while, but he joins the long procession of people that were once at my level and very rudely decided to improve and leave me behind without so much of it as a goodbye.
Unacceptable, honestly.
Unacceptable, yeah.
You should write them out on Twitter. Just send the whole list, all of them.
Yeah.
We'll start throwing the twos games in rank. Don't worry, we got you.
I'd like to call out the following people who left me behind, left me wounded on the field. Anyway, Pony no Jutsu, Willen to Raf and Oni. I have not written that right. Isn't it Onizuma? I put that Z in the wrong place. That is entirely my bad. I take responsibility for that.
Oni Mumza is now his new name.
Oni Mumza.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. So Eagle. Oh, hold on. Do you know what? I actually. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to bother correcting
That's
it.
fine.
It's to the next team, so that we don't have to look at it.
Look at it. Just keep our mistake.
That is a good production thing.
And then another SSA team. I've assumed this is SSA. I don't know where Aquatic is from. I'm assuming South Africa. And then Pancake Steelers and Rusty Musty. I don't know these guys at all. I don't know if anyone in chat knows these guys. Bromeo and Werty, I'm pretty sure you're not familiar with these players.
Pancake Steelers sound South African. That's all I'll say.
Do you know, if it wasn't for the flag sitting right next to his name?
Yeah, exactly. And then Ox Gaming returns to SSA, which is pretty cool. Org out of England. Oh, they're from England, right, Bromeo? EU for sure.
Yeah. So remember Unitox in
no.
RSC?
I know. I just couldn't remember if they were English or not.
No, 100%. And this looks like, honestly, a bro lobby on Friday. Scruffy, Jerome, and Limit. And honestly, top guys, I'm glad that they put a team together. They've been playing together for a long time. So if they don't have chemistry by now, it's late for them. But
wow, how dare you?
Great players. No disrespect. I know Limitless, well from the early bro days as well. So he'll understand my humor. But as for the rest of them, they probably don't, and they probably hate me right now.
All right, and so Limit. I think Scraffy was listed as from East Timor or something, but we've sorted out that flag. So a few issues on our auto flag pulling software behind the scenes. To our defense, this was all thrown together at 3 o'clock today. So yeah,
it was done 20 minutes before the stream, and we got it together.
Now this isn't the RLCS roster for Ox Gaming. Scraffy and Jerome are on the roster, and they will be joined by Max, which I'm very, very pleased. Scraffy's improvement has been incredible. I'm seeing him over in the 1v1, in the Mythic, just seeing him out there. He's improved so much. Max is as well. I think he's kind of touching GC3 now, so he's been grinding. Youngsters, they're sort of 15-ish, there or thereabout with Jerome. So Limit is a friend of Scraffy's who will be joining them for this off-season tournament because Max is away on holiday, but he'll be there in January for the start of RLCS.
Okay. A cool little thing also is that I want to see how all of these teams play threes. I think a big thing that a lot of people forget is you could be so good at twos or so good at ones. And threes, especially tournament threes, is so different. And everyone says, oh no, but I beat you once in ranked, so I'm so much better than you. And then nothing ever happens from that statement. And it's just, it's sad. But I really hope so, because threes is kind of the one thing I feel like if you're a 3 SA team specifically, and you're playing against the European team, that's your advantage, right? Like, first of all, we just need to be good enough to beat them. But second of all, you have the ping advantage when you do have the ping advantage. So it'll be really nice to see how far all of these SA teams can make it.
Yeah. That is, which does raise the point of our first goal, and we're going to talk more about the teams that are playing in SSA and the ones that might be coming here. But in terms of our immediate and short-term, medium, long-term goals, is our first job, is our top 12 South African reunion SSA teams must be able to beat EU teams that are playing on 180 ping. That's kind of the first goal, and then we can worry about the ones that are actually coming here and making it harder. But as you've just pointed out, Werty, that's got to be a strong focus for us, I think.
Okay.
Ox Gaming.
Let's hopefully see that there's some. Also, I think the really nice thing is that they get an off-season tournament before LCS starts, so you're not just, oh, I need to run it, and we're just running into it with no practice at all. It's more of a, hey, we've had this one opportunity, we can take all the games we've played, look at them, see where we can improve. We have 2 weeks, and then let's see what happens after that. That's really nice. I actually do like the fact that there is something for them to play beforehand.
And and we should shout out Sonics for that. With among all the bitching and stuff, the off-season thing has been very good, and awesome that it was done. And it's and they've been great tournaments. So shout out to that. Next up, we have another name that may or may not change before the weekend. Buenas. I don't know if they were trying to be clever and rude or not, or just a play on the Spanish word. I don't know. But anyway, this is 3 Spanish people. I'm assuming the question mark is also Spanish. He didn't say. But Brigranta, Sarah, and Ark, I don't know them. But out of Spain, good luck to you. And then a team called Ginger Guy, which is Stratic, Bigfoot, and Gustavo. Bigfoot, of course, I know. Stratic, I know. No idea who Gustavo is.
Gustavo's Gustavo. He's the man.
Is he?
Is it somebody who has a different name on start? Because that usually is an issue sometimes when people have weird names on Start GG and not on.
It says that's Jeff. Oh, it's Jeff. Gustavo is Jeff. Okay. All right. Well, that changes the complexion completely.
That makes sense.
Suddenly, it's not a bad team.
Wait. I can do this. We're in the technology.
Oh, look at that!
What are we doing?
They live updated the.
Oh, look at that! Oh, I love it! There we go. A name we understand is Jeff. Okay, that's actually a pretty solid roster then.
Nice.
Next up is Pandacity Nexus, and so I started a text to speech thing on my casual streams. So you could, put a comment in chat, and then the AI will say it. And so Pandacity have been around for a season or 2, and the guys running Pandacity used to get really upset because the obvious way to say that is Panda City. Yeah, exactly. and somebody with text to chat mentioned Pandacity on my stream, and the AI voice was Panda City.
Oh, yes.
So that made me feel much better. And that is Mark Clippy. And I never know. And Clippy, you're in chat. I see it. Please tell me how to say your name. Is it Clippy, Clipsy, Clippe, Clippy, Clip? You tell me. And Minoto. Now, Mark was in Master and finished top 2 or 3 or something in RSC. I don't know him too well, but he was in Master tier. Brody, I was hoping to hand off to you, and you were going to fill in this.
No. So he's actually a player whose name we do know, but you put me on the spot. Now, I can't remember off the top of my name because he's one of those players who changed his username just before the...
Papito says it's Dreezy. Can we get confirmation that is Dreezy? Mark equals Dreezy. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, now I know who he was, because he also messaged me. He messaged me in the middle of last week saying, "Oh, I didn't submit my bank information. Can I still get paid for RSC?" And I'm like, Mark, Mark, who the hell is Mark?
Mark, you're late.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
The money's already been spent on Greybeard's lighting, the camera, the electricity,
Oh
everything.
yeah,
It's gone.
the Greybeard slush fund, which I'm slowly skimming money off everything in the community for my own personal use. Yeah, it's gone. Next up, Barcelona. Now, the Barcelona brand has been in a few things. I don't know how official an org they are, but that's Tobusi, Danish, and Genie. Tobusi and Genie, of course, we know from RSC. The Tobusi, I know, has been grinding, or Tubsy, as he's also known, Genie K. And then Danish, I don't know. I feel like that's a name who's better known as something else. Danish is D-Money. Oh, my word. Come on, guys.
Guys, why don't you just have the same name on everything? Like,
Yeah.
please, it's not that hard. Like,
Driving us crazy. There we go. D-Money. And now we know. Now we know who that is. Barcelona, good luck. To me, this is a roster of people on the up with some way to go. And good luck to them. And next up will be BKT, TK, Blade, and KV. Blade, of course, we know, ex from Unity, been around a while. TK on the up and KV on the up, as far as I know.
Yeah, I'm not too clued up on those players.
Fair.
I've seen TK recently in ranked. So
Okay. Oh, well, if you've seen him in ranked, that's good going from him. That means he's
Let's see again.
still on the climb. Then
Translate it to threes, please.
Exactly. The Red Pandas, Kirika, Clever Rabbit, and Super Shy. And I'm sure Super Shy is an AKA, but AKA what, I have no idea.
Have we seen Nuke yet?
No.
It could be Nuke. No?
I know
unless,
Nuke
unless
is...
something awkward's happened and we don't know.
Oh, we probably made it worse, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh Lord.
All right, moving along. Well, good luck to the Red Pandas. Good to see. I'm glad to see Kirika in the mix. She's managing a North American org, by the way, or rosters, and responsible for their coaching and stuff.
Kirika comes to me in the offseason and is like, do you know what? I don't think that I can handle having a franchise in the org. Can't be a thing. I don't have the time. And then she's like, can you offer me an AGM ship at Bro? Proceeds to run Bro. Yes. And now runs an org in the US. I'm like, woman, calm down. You wanted to play some Rocket League. Play some Rocket League. Stop being a badass and creating orgs everywhere you go.
Some people leave a trail of destruction. Kirika leaves a trail of orgs. A
trail of order and orgs.
Yeah. All right. So apparently Super Shy is just Super Shy. So there we go.
Oh, shame. Don't call him out for it.
Yeah. Don't be shy, man. Come on. Get involved. It's all good. And then...
I have faith.
And then we have, I kind of like this name, Zenradev, which is a Bromeo, is there any chance we can find a reunion flag?
You know, that was actually why I logged onto the page to see if I could fix it. And then, do you know, I realized that the Congo flag is actually giving it a little bit of fun.
Oh, okay, fine. So, all right,
they
fine.
get to be Congolese this episode. We can change it for the future, but
so this is Bromeo.
I feel like Congo doesn't get much love. So
no, they're gonna be Mozambique next time as well. Yeah. It's gonna be great.
This is Bromeo leaning hard into the mistake. Okay, cool.
You gotta own it.
It's now a content piece. No, that's what
So Zenradev is Devour, Zentox, and Ravioli, and of course the name is a mush mash of all of their names. Thrilled to see Ravi and Devour teaming up together. I wouldn't mind them getting as a third. Zentox is great out of reunion, but I feel like they need a Happy Meal type player, a Happy Meal, a Werty, someone who can, with the deep knowledge and experience of the game, to take their wild mechanical prowess and channel it a little bit.
They need a Rocket League daddy. Is that what you're saying?
They need an Opa, is what I'm hearing.
But
I think they'll get away with it for now. I think if they can get a good coach, I think they'll be fine. I think
Okay.
just an experienced coach, not super into mechs and all that kind of stuff. I think they'll be fine as players. But yeah, I think somebody with experience as a coach would probably help them. Because I think you can also take, if they're 3 core players who are fine with improving and changing, and they
Yes.
won't have this massive issue, and they seem to be pretty cool. If they don't have this issue of, oh, I want to play this way, I want to do things my way, and they actually just listen,
Yeah.
then just a good coach will be completely fine, regardless of who their third is. Because then there's hope. I actually have good faith in that roster.
I need to talk to Tendo Plays, because Devour and Ravi played under the Synthesis banner in VS. And Tendo assured me that they would still be involved with Rocket League, and I don't know what their plans are. So I need to chat with him. They're going to come back and maybe pick up this roster. That is Zen Radev. Next up is Unity Esport, who are sporting a new roster. Defunct Olympic Yoshi. I'm sure wasn't there a fourth? There is a fourth. He might not be playing in the off season. Isn't there another one? Who am I missing here?
I feel like this is the Twitter org.
Is that Yoshi from Twitter? Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, that is the Yoshi from Twitter.
Is that the Olympic?
Oh,
from
Technic
Twitter?
Eagle. Technic Eagle is the fourth player, and their coach is Lackstar.
Oh wow.
Okay, nice.
And
Like he's not old enough to be coaching. I'm still disappointed, but he's doing good as a coach. The VS game. Who did he coach for VS?
he coached the Unity squad.
No, for high schools. Didn't he also do a high school as
He
well?
did, which was pretty much 2/3 of the Unity squad. That was the guys that won it. Usmut.
Potato with the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with what he did with them, especially from the last time we saw them in Cape Town. That was
Yeah.
nice. I was. Yeah,
I like Lagstar as a coach. I think he is going to flourish in that role. I loved his vibe and how he went about. I think he's a guy that can be a solid coach, and not to disagree with you, Werty, that he should still be playing, but I think he's just right for coaching.
I get you.
Wow, so diplomatic.
What did you want? I mean, you're right. Like,
all right, next up is Horizon, which is South Africa and Congo. Splashy, Arts, and Wormy. Arts we saw in RSC. I like him. Wormy I've seen there or thereabout. I actually don't know how good a player he is. And then Splashy is a name I've seen recently, but no real info on him.
I am only familiar with Wormy.
Yeah.
Now then helped him out with
That's
coaching.
fine. And then Bouge. There's Lackstar. There's Lackstar competing in the off-season, so he's going to be coaching one team, playing in another. There we go. Throw the rules away. Why not?
Wait, so Tristan Lackstar Duckless. That's a team from last season.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the same team that played at
VS.
AGC. Yeah.
Oh, at AGC.
Yeah.
Was it those three? Oh, okay.
It was I'm pretty sure.
The one in Cape Town. No, I think you're correct. I didn't remember that, but I do believe you are right. And then after Bouge, we have you're gonna love this name, Bromeo. Brokes.
Oh yes.
It's funny because these guys are bros, all of them.
Yes.
And they were also Order of Oaks, because we did a hard pillage of the bro server for this season's Order of Oaks rosters. So that explains the name, I'm assuming.
Yes.
The question mark is they weren't clued up on the spelling, I guess.
So Joker, Sebastian, and Terrible. Terrible's a good player, but I think they're bringing into the off season what they had in Order of Oaks. They're bringing the vibes, bro, into some high level Rocket League, eh?
But no seeking serious results.
And an identity crisis, clearly.
Yeah.
And then next up is a roster we should probably keep an eye on. I've got hopes for them. Is Precious?
Well, guys, it might be Limitless. I'm not sure though. They changed the name.
Oh no! Like for a second, I was looking at these guys and I was like, one or two of them have potential. Not sure about the third.
So they're playing under the name Precious, because obviously they were uncontracted after Worlds, And given mutterings on Twitter over the last few days and the fact that Limitless were among a bunch of orgs in a long call with Psionics and or Epic and or Blast, which I believe went well for them, it's possible that by the weekend they might be playing under the Limitless banner, although perhaps Limitless don't want to fork out a December salary and will wait for January. So we'll see how that goes.
I think the contracts work well in 12 months, not 13.
So, yeah, precious. And we expect that they should do relatively well. Then next up is Genesix. And Mega Boom informed me on stream the other day that Genesix as an org, and this will be Genesix's last season, just I think as an org. I think Mega Boom is looking to be a grown-up and have kids and spend his money responsibly. So this may be the last season here. Daps, Friction, and Declan. And I like the fact that they've been together a while. They won VS. And hopefully they have a very good season. I know they've got their eye on the Esports World Cup in Saudi next year, rather than making majors, because making majors and worlds here is a little bit complicated at SSA at the moment.
Doable, man. Just believe.
Believe!
Yeah. Easy peasy.
That's Genesix, and then next up is and I don't know if this is in reference to an org from last season or just generally in life. I don't know what the deal is. Getting paid is a lie.
Guys, I don't know where this name came from, I'll be honest. I don't think it's in reference to anything. I think that it's just a general life something you learn as you go across, that sometimes you just don't get paid.
as you grow up, you realize how you've been lied to as a child. It's first the Tooth Fairy, then it's Santa, and then it's like, oh, I thought I'd get paid when I was a grown-up. Clearly not.
Then it's taxes, and then it's the real world, and then it's all the pain and suffering. But anyway, guys, this is a cool roster, man. I think these guys will do well. I'm not sure.
I haven't seen this roster before. They look very similar to a team that didn't get paid last season.
So tell me a bit about Ram. I had a conversation with him down in Cape Town at the LAN there and interviewed him for Rocket Dreamers. And it was so interesting because at the end of one of the RLCS seasons, I got the idea that he was kind of almost winding down and sort of at the end of his career. And then suddenly he seemed to have a resurgence and was grinding the game and doing well, and
if you will.
Oh God!
I didn't know you were a dad. Wow, this is crazy stuff. No, Ram is okay. So when I look at a team, I look at any of my teammates or people I'd like to play with. I want to know that they're cool people. They're okay. They're just sound. They understand, hey, this is just how we want to communicate, all this kind of stuff. Ram and Eli are very cool in that sense. Ram also, I think, is probably one of the most consistency is something also that I feel like a lot of players lack.
Yes.
I feel like there's a lot of players that you have one really good tournament and then you go 16th in the next, or you don't qualify. And I really don't like that. Ram is very consistent, and with all of his ones and all of the practice that he does put in, he's really good. Also, I think it was because of uni as well, that there was probably a time where he couldn't put in as much time compared to now where he could. But Ram is
seems a very chill, level-headed guy. I mean, it was the first time I got to meet him. It was really cool. I liked him.
Honestly, like last season, he was the best player on that roster, in my opinion. He had such a fantastic season, and he was on my player of the day a good couple of times because he just played his position so damn well. And I started that off as a joke and I ended it seriously. So we're a little bit in a mixed metaphor at this point. But honestly, I was so impressed. So I'm really hoping you guys do well in this tournament because you guys have all the building blocks for a good side.
It'll be fun. At the end of the day, I think the nice thing about playing RL with Eli and Ram is that you just enjoy playing the game. And
Fabulous.
it's really pointless to play the game and not enjoy it. Of course, you want to win. You
Yes.
wouldn't play the game otherwise if you don't want to win it. You don't want to push it very far. But the experience of playing and getting good results when you don't enjoy it, and getting good results when you enjoy it, is completely different.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference between playing for a long time and playing just for the sake of it.
Next up, we have the Spice Boys, sponsor Bobas, Potato with a Gun, and Yusuf. Yusuf, I'm not entirely sure of. Sponsor Bobas, of course, was a VS runner-up for Waterkloof, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And Potato with a Gun, of course, a legend, been around a while. So they a decentish roster. I don't know how far they can go, but good to see them playing.
I have faith. I've never heard of Yusuf. That sounds like my brother, but then again, there's always a Yusuf somewhere. Yeah.
There's always a Yusuf somewhere. Next up is Salty Sugar, Papito, Jake's the Snake, and Nice Panda. Papito, of course, from Cosmico, Jake's the Snake, doing his thing in RSC, and Nice Panda being about. So, no, there we go. Not much more to say about that roster, I don't think. And next up, White Rabbit Gaming, who is, of course, wee Casper Marnie, and out of the Congo, Heatsy. Now Heatsy's been around a while, and I've always felt he would flourish in a strong team. So it's interesting to see how he does with Casper Marnie, another young player that's been grinding hard, another player who was my equal not too long ago, but been putting in a lot of effort to get better. So hopefully we'll see a bit of resurgence of White Rabbit Gaming. Haven't had a great run in the last season or so.
Can we, this is a stat I'm interested in now, because they should change it to Wee Rabbit Gaming at this point. Wee Casper has been on this White Rabbit side so long that he probably has shares in it.
Yeah.
And I'd be interested to know, in the longest time that a player has played under an org banner for, because I'm pretty sure that's up there.
That is worth looking into, but anecdotally, I would venture to say he's probably the longest. But I think a better name would be White Casper Gaming.
No. He's there for a prison sentence, guys. I don't think you understand.
White Rabbit Gaming, and then What the Dog Doing? So AJ, Papito, and Nerfquake. Great guys, good community people. Not sure how far they can go, but guys, the best of luck, and do your hardest. Go as far as you can. And then I think we're starting to get into the non-SSA team, so we're not going to spend too much time there. Selman, Ryan, and Karim. Now, I'm assuming that
Not
flag
from the Congo, coincidentally.
Yeah, but what flag is that now?
That's Tunisia.
Tunisia. Okay, Tunisia. And the last one is Italy.
Yeah.
That was the sole Italian in the tournament. So they are the MENA EU side. Know nothing about them. Don't know if they'll go far or go quickly. But good luck to them. And then the elites. They've been here since last season. Trin, 9, and Mass. Trin out of England, and 9 out of
Egypt.
Thank you very much, and Mass out of Algeria. So 2 North Africans and an Englishman. So that's pretty cool. I like Mass, and I kind of got a soft spot, as I've already said, for the North Africans. So I'm not entirely.
In a bracket where we didn't have much to root for, the elites were there to give us a little bit of joy. So the elites, we will always be thankful for you.
And then we've had that, the I don't know if it's Carthage. Is that a place?
Yeah, Lens Mystery.
All right, then we have Amina team, G&G Amazira Esports.
Wow, you did a good job at making that sound
legit.
Yeah, that sounds really nice. Yeah, actually, I found the team name for next year. It's not we didn't get paid. I think.
So 2 out of Tunisia and Someone is that?
Algeria.
Is it Algeria? It is Algeria.
Algeria,
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know those players at all, so not sure if they're to be feared or not. But good luck to them. And then the next one is an interesting name. EU out of MENA, Only Mans.
Only man.
That's nice.
And I'm assuming that Hazo, and I think that name number 2 there, it would be said Snowy, but I don't know. That's
It is.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it is that Snowy. The fake Snowy appears in Twitch chat.
Twitch chat.
No, it's not that Snowy. It's definitely not that Snowy.
Are you sure?
That Snowy has 3 Ys.
Yeah, but to be fair,
No,
lots of people have changed their names.
No, it is. I don't think it is. It would be interesting. I don't know what Snowy or a TikTok man. What? Okay,
But there's
fine.
probably a Snowy on TikTok as well.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I'm assuming it's MENA. At least one is out of Saudi. So there we go. Good luck. Good luck to the Oni mans. I'm assuming that. I mean, that Lunar is not that Lunar since that is from Saudi Arabia. And then next up is BTW, which is, I've listed as MENA, but the 2 of them didn't list where they're from. One's from Saudi, so I assumed the other 2 were. Don't know those names at all, but they're clearly not good enough to be on Falcon Esports. So
Or
They look like,
any vowels whatsoever.
That is a very Saudi thing to do. That looks like 2 Saudi names.
There's not a
I can
single
assume
vowel
that is
in
Hamza as well.
All 3 of those names, not one.
no, vowels are.
We don't do that here.
Yeah, vowels. And then Celestial Vanguard, Rixie, Abulba, and Ramsey. Ramsey out of Algeria, Abulba, who's played a few tournaments now. He did the 1v1 and did the hoops out of Egypt, and then Rixie out of Saudi Arabia.
Now this sounds like the elites.
Ramsey was with the elites, so he was with
And
Mass
Abulba.
Loss. Was Abulba as well?
Bulba
Yeah.
he was
No,
with the
you
elites, yeah.
you are 100% correct. He was with the elites. So 2 North Africans and 1 Saudi to make up that MENA team. And then we have BTW we've already done. So I'll move along from that. And that brings us to LVL or level, which is SSA and MENA. Loxley, Lankai, and Valenci. Don't know. Of course, we know Lankai out of Ghana, Ghana's best player. And he looked really, really good in that 1v1. Was incredibly impressed with him. So hopefully he's got a strong roster that can go somewhere. Our only trifecta team. Then 3-time world champions. Squa, Paraiba, and Toxic Prison. No idea who they are.
I think Paraiba did play the season. Yeah,
Really?
if I'm not mistaken. It's a name I do remember. I'm not sure from where.
It has a little bit of familiarity, but not enough that I can make any comment on. And then the GC Grinders, Hard Flame has definitely played here out of Portugal. Portuguese, by the way. This is a big destination, Rocket League destination for the Portuguese. And then Veas and Vinci. Vinci out of Belgium. Veas, good luck. I don't know that flag.
I will tell you very shortly.
Lithuania, no?
No, Vea.
It's the same place from Simas.
Lithuania, yeah.
Yeah, it's Lithuania. Yeah. I remember Simas.
Good call. Werty banging with the
Look at you,
geography
you got
tonight. Good game.
Lithuania.
It's amazing.
I watch enough Counter-Strike, you get all these
enough.
little flags all the time.
And then Bacalao Boosters. Cena, who that guy, and Zaloro.
Nice.
A full Portuguese team. They are coming, know nothing about them. And then we have the washed up boys. The washed up boys, change. There we go. England, and I'm assuming Lyrics is out of England, but it didn't say. So Kern, Mercy, and Lyrics out of England. Don't know if anybody in chat knows who they are. If you do, please do let us know anything that you may know. And then a name I do like. I like this name, Roller Coaster, which is Caro, Senseless, and Rachna. And that flag, is that Swedish?
Poland.
No, Polish.
Poland. Which one's the big plus? Oh, that's Switzerland. Never mind. Okay.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of big pluses in Europe.
There's about 4 of them, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So they get points for their name, but no idea who those players are. Mercy is ex-Renegade Tourney player. Mercy was on one of the teams we saw earlier. Okay, so it looks like he's been around, did some stuff on the periphery. And then next up are...
I'm not sure if it's... how do you say this name? We should
Shiva.
actually ask Werty.
What's name?
Shiva.
Shiva,
Shiva.
Snoopy, Kwasi, and Yaki. Don't know who they are. Good luck to them. Full EU team. And
Latvian. Crazy stuff.
Latvia. All right. Chesterfield FC. And I'm assuming they're all English with a name like that. Minty, Lil Vibes and Sights. If anybody knows them. Oh, an Austrian. Okay, yeah. Oh, Bar's here.
They're here for a few vibes, at least.
Bar's here. Yeah, we got a few. I think we got 3 or 4 Austrians. Bar. Austrian.
Austrian flag.
And then MVG. No. Oh, yeah. Okay. And the less said about this, the better. Mason, Glifty, and Vorsful. Hopefully they have about as much success as they did last season. And or slightly worse would be great. But there we go. Let me quickly get to the next team before my mouth writes a check my ass can't cash.
I mean, hey, the truth hurts, but it's the truth. So, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah.
Pivex, another full Portuguese team. Pivex, Leonard, and Cry.
Honestly, I want to know what's going on in that Portuguese Discord server right now. Because all of them have decided, you know what? SSA it is this season.
Yeah, exactly.
But like Portugal specific, you know?
It's a chronic, man. He's just sparked the entire generation.
Yeah.
Just all play Rocket League instead of football.
And then we have Bismillah, or as it's spelt, Bismillah.
Yeah, that could...
I feel like they're going to change that one.
Yeah, that definitely feels like a name that's going to change. And I'm sure that's not said Adele. I'm sure there's a different pronunciation for it, or maybe it is Adele. And then Leidney and Clokey. No idea who they are. Clokey out of Belgium. And Sunday Drivers. Mas, Quito, and Wailu out of Poland. A full Polish team. Wailu has played a bunch of SSA stuff last season, or the season that just passed. He was in the off season, did a whole bunch of stuff. So he likes the views in SSA.
Mm-hmm. The views.
Then Vinnerstrike, BJB, Blackstrike, and Swift. No idea who they are. All of them out of England. And I have a suitcase, which is this is a French flag, right?
Yeah,
that is French.
Thank goodness. Okay, Bukharon, Ephraim, and I think it's supposed to be El Figaro. I think my bad. I think I left out an L there because I was manually typing all of this in. So I think that was my bad. And then SSAying, which is an interesting name because it's all 2 Germans and a Spaniard, Youngstar, Bryzar, and Rubix. Rubix, formerly of Mobula last season, coming out with 2 Germans to form that team. I don't know if Bahi knows who those oaks are.
I thought Youngstar.
77 Blacks. Wasn't Young? I'm sure. I know. I don't know if I said blacks or backs. Either way, I was wrong. Because I was still thinking of the other. Anyway, Youngstar is a name I've heard, and I can't remember if it's in a good context or not. 77 Blocks playing out from last season as well. Twinzer, Energizer, and Badness. Badness from Belgium sounds like a new in their roster. I can't. Who was with them? Was it Torres who was with them before?
No, it was Twister.
Twister, there we go.
Because it was Twister, Twinzer, and Energizer. And
that's right.
They were 77 Blocks.
Correct. And then Hard. Now, I only put in half their name because their name is absolutely going to change. So I just put in the first half. Hard, out of Sweden, I'm assuming. Svante, Cosmo, and Vex. No idea what to say about them other than that, but they are from Sweden. And then we have Hey.
Thank you for Volvo. Sorry.
No, thank you for Volvo. That's as far as we'll go. Ivan, Casa, and Revezi. Revezi's a name. I'm sure he played with someone last season. Can't remember who that was. So is that Spain? Spain in England.
Yeah.
And Saucy Barbecue, Ryzen Avicii, and Days out of Scotland. Our sole Scottish player. Playing for the Saucy, I spelled that wrong, Saucy Barbecue, but that should be.
Thank you for Paul Scholes. Thank you.
Thank you for Paul Scholes. There you go. Brilliant. And then Astronic, Anyilo, Tyre, and Berachu. Tyre is new from England. I don't know much about him, and I can't remember. That might be that Torres. He's replacing Torres, right? Didn't Torres play for Astronic?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. I got that right then. Opars met Kleinkind, which I thought was an SSA team with that name, but of course it's two Dutchmen, two out of the Netherlands, Gek and Paposa, and Peaky out of Belgium. Also, again, know nothing about them. I don't know if they're good by European standards or what the story is there. Quantum Vortex are those Polish people.
Those Polish guys, yeah.
Those Polish guys are known as Quantum Vortex. And then Limburg's Drinkwater is all out of that's Netherlands, if I'm...
Netherlands.
Yep.
Netherlands.
Yeah.
Danny Just Sweaty and Colin. Colin, good Dutch name that, yeah.
Strong Dutch name.
Yeah. And then Strive Corp out of another Portuguese team, Linux, Mironski, and Paradox or Padrox. Okay, I hope we're near the end. Yes, we are. We've got just one more team to look at, which is Hereford FC, all out of England, Darku, Ringer, and Velocity. Now, there was a question I asked Darku if he was planning to play SSA next season, and he said he'll be playing in EU. So I think he's just here for the off-season tournament, but we'll see if that turns out to be true.
Players said a lot of things.
That's true. Yeah, a lot of things that people also believe that I never did. But then at the end of the day,
absolutely. And I will say, as you all know, I'm a very positive person. I choose to see the best. But I've been sold enough stories last season that I'm not in the market for any of them in the new season. We'll come and do things, and then you can pitch a story once you've actually done things. That is the rosters. I feel like we spent a bit more time on it than I was planning to.
Solid 40 minutes.
I know, a solid 40 minutes. It felt like a really long time. All right, let's talk about the teams that are coming out here. For the teams, there are rumored teams, the ones that are physically flying out to SSA. There are 4 teams I'm going to list out here. At least 2 of them are rumored. And there's a couple of confirmations, so we'll have a look at that. First up is Mastu Flak, which is Creamy, Rexo, and Mads. Definitely playing SSA, but whether they're coming here or not, they're being a little tight-lipped about that. And what makes me a little bit about this roster is that their manager stroke coach is Lath, whose last effort with an RLCS team was Young Money Clan. So not immediately out the gate overly excited about that, but I don't know what the story is if they come out here.
Yet, so.
Yeah.
Hey, but you never know. The plane might not arrive. But,
yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens there. And then Goose has got a team which he says are coming out here. Alexit, Torres, and either Yukio or Drewy. Now, Yukio, I'm incredibly doubtful of. Drewy was going to go to APAC, then got dropped last minute. Last I heard, he was LFT, but I think he was trying out for this roster. So we'll see if that actually happens. Next up is Mobula, who were allegedly going to APAC and then now allegedly coming back to SSA.
Crazy what happens when Tho and Oli move to APAC, eh? Crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy stuff.
Oh, actually, I'm not sure about the Japanese.
No, I don't know if we want to go there anymore, guys. I think I'd spend my hard-earned euros from South Africa somewhere else. Crazy.
Now, Torres was mentioned in the Goose roster, but there's also a rumor that he's trying out for the Mobula team.
I mean, to be fair, Goose does a lot of things, so I would be interested to see if
who
that
is
comes
Goose?
to light.
Goose is a coach out of North America. He coached one of the SSA teams last season. He's from Canada.
It's a Squishy Muffins, I understand.
Mishy Squaffins. And then what else did I hear on that rumor? So is it SSA? Is it APAC? Nothing confirmed there, but it was definitely APAC, and then suddenly it was no longer definitely APAC. Exactly. And then a North American org by the name of Team Evo got hold of Shuffleverse, who's an EU player. He's Italian-Brazilian, out of the Uni Rocketeer scene. He now plays for... He's in Canada as well, playing for St. Clair and studying there, but he's putting together a roster which this Team Evo are funding to come and play out of SSA for the entirety of the season, apparently. Apparently, they've got 2 people locked down for the roster, and they're making a decision between 2 people for the third, and they're planning to arrive in Cape Town on the 4th of January. So no data on who the roster is, but... so we may land up with, I have a feeling that probably 2 of these actually make it out. So 2 locals, well, not locals playing, but playing out of SSA directly.
2 minimum imports.
2 minimum imports, yes, exactly. Mythic After Party recap. No, we're definitely not doing that. That was last week. And that brings me to LFT players. I've had messages from a couple of people who are looking for, rosters of 2, looking for a third. So if you are still LFT for RLCS 2025, please DM me. I'd like to connect everybody up, and hopefully everybody gets a team. I know for sure that Nukes, we mentioned him earlier, Nukes and Mercy are looking for a third. So if you are still LFT, if you want to still be on a roster for RLCS, do get in touch. Harmonic says, feels weird, man. Okay, all right. I'm not sure what exactly feels weird, but okay, cool. What did Harmonic say? VK, Leoro, and a good third could beat that team. Okay, I've missed some context.
You missed quite a lot of chat.
Oh, have I? Is there anything we need to catch up with chat, Bromeo? Since not really, just sort of internal discussions.
Pretty much.
Okay, fine. And I think that brings us to the end of Just Saying episode 14. Werty, thanks for coming to hang, being our guest panelist for the night. Any closing thoughts, opinions, ideas going forward, Rocket League 2025? Anything you want to say in closing?
Not really. I think it'll be fun, as always. I think all of our South Africans have gotten a bit better, which is nice to see. I hope they can prove it in threes. And maybe one day we'll be able to spin a big rand and go across to Europe to play a couple of regionals. Would be fun, but nevertheless,
Yeah,
I actually do think for this season we should be fine. In my opinion, I think it'll be way better than last season as well, because of the amount of prep time and how much improvement has happened in terms of just people playing the game. And not so much for the, oh no, it's threes, people are coming out. I think in general, it's a very different mindset now. Now it's just, screw you, we're just going to beat you. Instead of, oh my word, it's this guy who we've never heard of, but he's kind of good and he's 2.3k in Europe. Now it's just, okay, let's play Rocket League, let's win, let's leave. I don't think it's anything deeper than that. So the mindset's good. I have faith. We'll see what happens. But there's no reason to stress about things you can't control, man. You know what I mean?
I think that's an incredibly important thing to have said. That is the truth. And if I think back to Rocket League in 2019, which is when I got involved in the community, and so just to remind myself and everybody, I made a video in 2019 whose title was how to become a grand champ on 180 ping, because above like diamond level, there was no SS. You weren't getting games on SA servers. You had to play in Europe. So how do you become a grand champ on 180 ping? And for that video, I interviewed every South African grand champion, all 9 of them. So that was Rocket League 2019.
Wait. Can you actually name those 9 players? Sorry to interrupt, but
I can name some of them. It was Snowy. It was okay, hold on. Snowy, CP Zebra, Werty. But I don't know if I interviewed you, Werty. I can't remember if I interviewed you.
I wasn't cool enough. Sorry, I wasn't
pirate cool enough.
Guys. Okay. OMG. Yeah.
Werty, Yopego. Oh my God.
Send me your mother, possibly.
No.
Lion, possibly.
Oh, mother for sure. Mother for sure. No, the guys you've just mentioned, Timmy and the other one, were already not active by then. They had sort of moved away from Rocket League. Oh my word. Oh God. Falliser for sure. What was MT there? I think it might have been just before MTBK. Do you know what? I'm going to go and watch the video, and I'll come back to you and tell you. And tell you who they were.
You need to create Greybeard's Rocket League Hall of Fame. Have them in your intro as you go in, because that would be cool.
That would be.
That's
very
history.
Cool.
You guys are remembering cool stuff that was even before my time, and I've already been here a couple of years. So
the point being, though, is that it was a tiny community, and if the players then could have seen what it would become, where we are now with everything that's going on, I think they would have been incredibly excited about it. So I do think we're going to have a banger year. Anyway, let me not belabor the point. I feel like I've belabored this point at the end of every podcast. Let's keep grinding, but that's gonna wrap it up for episode 14. So from me, Greybeard, the Bromeo, Werty, keep on grinding. We shall see you again over the weekend. Thanks for coming to hang. Go and say how's it to Hootie Hoo. Peace. We are out.